Nobody not selling out. We talking facts. Facts we dealing with. Nobody not selling out. We talking facts. I been to Guyana, man. I have to go back. The way how the country looking, man, they left me shocked. Who's ever in charge? Them put we on the map. The men them look healthy. The girls them look hot. I went to a meeting. I don't know if chicken curry. Them Guyanese eating, man. The government working. 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 This one's for them haters. For them haters who attacking Guyana. Guyana, show them your little finger. Little finger, show them your little finger. Little finger, show them the 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 little finger. The government working. 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 Don't mix me with politics. I yes, the Guyanese critics. I just want the country fixed. Man, I come here some kicks. Can later bumper fake. We call it a camera trick. And if you rest it on me, I still giving it some licks. The government working. 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 The government. This is for the hater. For the hater. This is for the hater. We're running down Guyana. For the hater. For the hater. Show them little finger. Show them your little finger. Little finger. Show them your little finger. Little finger. Show them your little finger. Government working. The 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 government working. Now don't mix me. Don't mix me. Don't mix me. The government working. I don't do politics. Just get jacket, right? Get jacket. The government working. The government working. The government working. The government working. Them working. The government working. They're working. Now I said them working. I don't mix me. I don't do politics.
Oh yes. A lot of you gon' vex, but I tell you, sometimes you just got to listen. There's a child in every home and every community. They will grow up to be symbols of unity. They'll be colorblind to race and ethnicity. That's the vision of a leader like President Irfan Ali. I'm talking about the one Guyana where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our children will have one Guyana to grow up in a land united and free with equality and blessed with prosperity. For too long we've been fighting one another. It's race against race, but in the end the country suffer. Oh, we were born here, not in India nor Africa. But if we can't get along, the foreigners gon' eat we suffer. We must put an end to racism. Let it end now with this generation. Together we'll develop
number one,
Guyana, the gem of the Caribbean. Don't listen to them wicked politicians who will divide us to win an election. Believe it or not, Guyanese no smarter than that. Yeah, I told you. It's your boy Padmore. Unity is the key. We are all one and we should be treated as one. Our ancestors were slaves and laborers, but the life they endured made it better for us. We honor their sacrifice and the freedom they bought for we. But some descendants of slaves use that to fuel the rich. It doesn't matter what's your skin color, when we bleed blood it's red the same. Let's respect and love one another. When a brother cry, we must feel the pain. We're Portuguese, African and Indian. We're Chinese mixed up, we're Amerindians. We're all Guyanese. Let's end this segregation. I'm appealing to Guyanese in the diaspora. We welcome you home. We've got a lot to offer. It's not the same place that you run away from. Come see the paradise Guyana has now become. I'm talking about the one Guyana, where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our children will have one Guyana, to grow up in a land united and free, with equality and blessed with prosperity. It's a message I just want you to understand. Stop and think for a minute. Really think for a minute. If we can't fix the present, then we should work on the future.
Peaceful people struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree,
Good morning to you guys. Welcome down to another episode of Livewire with yours truly. Happy to be here with you today, the 9th of October 2024. Morning to all the persons across the diaspora. Morning to all the persons across the 10 administrative regions. I trust everybody had a restful night and had a productive day yesterday, and you're rested and ready and rearing to go today. Special good morning to Miss Marisha Sami, who's in Guyana, spending some time with the family. Um, really happy that you have returned, and you'll be able to witness some of the things that I talk about here firsthand as it relates to the development of this country. More so, the community of Bartica, where Marisha is from, right? A lot of things happening up there in terms of infrastructure, housing, gold, wind, all sorts of things, agriculture, tourism, all sorts of things happening up there. So I'm glad, I'm extra happy when people from the diaspora have an opportunity to return, visit their communities that they came from, and have a first-hand look at the development that's happening there, and then contrast it to some of the stuff that they hear from people like Rickford Burke and Mark Benchcop and Sherrod and Coretta and Aubrey and all of them. Everybody, most of them is dog beer stupidness. So welcome home, Marisha. I hope that you have a pleasant trip. I hope that you have a pleasant trip. I hope that you have a pleasant trip home, and you enjoy your stay here. Everybody else, morning to those people in the comment section already. Rahim Amarali, Neil Ramlokan, Lenny Lachman, Eddie Ramnath, joining us from Paramaribo, Suriname, Balwant Danraj, Sunil Raghubir, Bisundak Mohan, morning to you. Lana Ramaya, Sheen Ramaya, Rajendra Singh, morning to you. Veena Ramkaran, Hanuman Prem Kumar, morning to you. Derek Jupal, Mazo Inshan Ayon Bipat, joining us from Barbados. Data Nandalal, morning to you. Who else we got here? Philip Diabru, Pushram Kishore, Wazim Nabi, Andre Matthews, morning to you. Showan Siram, Ramnarain Singh, Rakesh, Faisal Ghani, Cecil Rampasad, Prasad Pati, Imran Ali, morning to you. Jainarain Edwards, Mohammed Isaf, Pam, morning to you. And Trevor, Mazel Inchan, morning to you. Suknandan Bud, morning to you. Eunice Raghubir, special good morning to you. And Rita. Who else we got here? Duraj Nath, Rafiq Khan, Krishna Deoda, Dale Henry, Nirmala Allen, good morning to you. Deshaun Abrams, morning to you and the family. Shakila Bridgelal, morning to you. Prem Prashad, Fong Raja, Alan Khan, Chitra Sokraj, Giri Ali, morning to you. Jonah Bijan joining us from Canada, Randolph Khan, morning to you. Richard Aklu, Leslie Mongal, Raji Maraj, morning to you. Jamila Kayum, Ricky Nath, Jasoda Budram, morning to you. Norman Aziz, Narain Singh, June Muturis, morning to you. Prem Bashal Danbir, morning to you. Joseph Sitar, Henry Jagdio, Dianan Sugu, Richard Stanislaus, Satu Hemraj, Anita Williams, morning to you. Lance Henry, Lola Hari, Sally Jones, morning to you. Sunil Batulal, morning to you. Faisal Hamad, good morning. Sunil Roop, Salomi, Wazim Hasno, Marlon Boyce, morning to you. Morning, everybody. Today I might be choosing violence. Yeah, I think I'm getting up today and I'm choosing violence, right? So, I want to deal with force. I got some more things I want to touch on this morning. Oh, first of all, I noticed this on my feed. And Hill, morning to you, Jean Cornelius. Good morning. I noticed this on my feed this morning. A post from News Source. Gordon Mosley's outfit, former commissioner of police, raising concerns over kidnapping of man on Main Street. Um, Deshaun is a comic. So this guy here raising concerns over a gentleman who was kidnapped on Main Street, right? And I agree, it's something that is worrying, and the police, they're looking into it, right? But I would put to the general public that kidnappings in Guyana, it's not a regular and reoccurring thing. Every month somebody getting kidnapped. It's nowhere as bad as Trinidad and Tobago, right? It's nowhere in any way, shape, or form as bad as Trinidad and Tobago, right? So I am actually surprised to see this guy jumping out and referencing what happened to Joshua David. Now, I want to make it clear to people who may not know the person who was kidnapped. Now, I'm not saying it was good for him, he should have get kidnapped. Nothing of the sort. I am putting to you all here that you may not know all the activities the gentleman was involved in, right? When you live a certain life, certain things follow you, right? I wouldn't say me and the guy were friends. I met him a few times. I had conversations with him. The person, Joshua, the guy who was kidnapped, Brick. I met him a few times. And based on what I knew of the guy was well known around town and involved in all sorts of things. All sorts of things. So the average Guyanese who is going about their daily activities, right? And when I say violence, I mean verbal, right? Knocking nobody. So for the regular Guyanese who's going about their day-to-day life, going to work, coming home, going to New Driving and buying some Chinese or whatever they're doing, they don't have anything to worry about. You understand? They don't have anything to worry about. But again, I say it to you, some of these people from the opposition really need to take a back seat. Because I don't think the former commissioner should be worrying about this. Let the police do their job. I don't think the Guyanese public should be worrying about this. Let the police do their job. One of the things we should probably focus on in relation to the former commissioner that we never really got any answers to, or the Guyanese people never got any justice for, you understand, is this.
You're busy. Number one, so you have to call you or something.
Reader.
Me no figure you. I tell you.
He come back?
Yeah, I told him you say you might.
Now, mind you, the two voices that you're hearing here is former Attorney General under the coalition government, Basil Williams, and this guy, former Commissioner of Police, Winston Felix. You understand me? So I wonder if some of these guys like Winston and Pato and the others forget their past to be speaking on certain matters. They had more than one person. The shot Ike. They had more than one person who lost their lives in that massacre. Right? I am not dwarfing the fact that Joshua David may have lost his life or was kidnapped. Yes, the police need to find him or find who did it and bring them to justice. But we cannot forget the actions of the former commissioner who was talking. No, when we had a massacre in this country, multiple persons murdered. And this gentleman on your screen was the city commissioner.
If I know that would have set up something tonight, I know he come back.
Yeah. You see you want to talk to see what I call
you run away when all this gun play taking place? You laugh, eh?
I do.
I watched the move good. But y'all make no statement, but I made people dead, you know.
You understand what I'm telling you? You understand what I'm saying to you? He was the sitting commissioner. Who did he capture in relation to this? Who did he capture, or who did his, whilst he had superintendency over the Guyana police force? What was the headway they made in relation to this investigation into the massacre at Electoral? He should be the last person coming forth to discuss anything in relation to the Guyana police force. The mere fact, Mr. Felix, that the coalition government did not see it fit to make you the minister of, it's what he used to call the ministry, public affairs, public security. So imagine you're a former commissioner of police, and that administration didn't see it fit to make you the minister of public security, right? All they said to you is, look, you regulate how people become in Guyanese. All these foreigners who want to come over become Guyanese. You understand? So, Winston Felix, you need to have a seat.
I was saying the same thing.
Y'all make no statement.
The same thing. They make no statement there. But
y'all playing dangerous games.
No, I don't check for the PR thing, but I'm gonna find out from them in the morning.
Ronald Jones, you're late but welcome.
Y'all should have been the first people for running. There is a black people community.
Well, bye.
And them criminals gonna slaughter them people in there.
Well, I suppose.
So you hear the former commissioner of police admitting that is the criminals gone and slaughter the people. But you will see these people here on the list of the 14 billion Guyanese that were murdered by the PPP. You can see them on the list. You understand me?
The leader and then nobody running out. You know it go. And then
should have been for the first set of people
get the facts about what's going on.
Screaming. You don't want facts, is you people dead.
You help me out when you say Ashman them.
Huh?
You help when you give
Bana, I deliberately turned the thing away from it come.
I know.
But now
you hear what the commissioner of police saying? The former commissioner of police. The former commissioner of police. I deliberately divert. Deliberately, now he talking about Guyanese citizens should go. This is what we need to be concerned about. You are still influential in an opposition party. You understand? So could you imagine the man who in charge of securing the citizens of the country, enforcing law and order, deliberately divert, as he said, let me listen again, quick.
I deliberately turned the thing away from it come.
I know.
But now I can't do that because the facts coming out.
You understand? You understand? So me as a Guyanese citizen, this is what I'm concerned about. It's not the dereliction of duty. You didn't swear an oath to the Constitution or the laws of Guyana, or whatever you swear your oath to uphold the laws and the Constitution of Guyana. Does the laws and the Constitution of Guyana speak about deliberately diverting and all this nonsense? So this is our concern, Mr. Felix. We don't allow the police to do their work in relation to BRIC. And I'm suggesting to the police that they launch an investigation into this here to find out what was actually done by the former commissioner and if it was in keeping with his sworn duties as a commissioner of police.
So, but in the interim, in the initial stages, I made a firm decision that me saying nothing but them people. I turned it.
You understand? So Listen one more time and then we gonna move on. One more time.
Bana, I deliberately, I deliberately turned the thing away from it come.
I know.
But now I can't do that because the facts coming out. So, but in the interim, in the initial stages, I made a firm decision that me saying nothing but them people. I turning them away.
So, Mr. Felix, you stop worrying about things that the Guyana police force actually doing the job in relation to now. You should answer for your tenure and the things that happened while you were in charge, and the deliberate things that you were done, and the fact that you made it known that I am not speaking anything about this. You understand? But hey, you admit in the recording, you had to think how the facts were coming out, and you couldn't hide it anymore, right? So please sort yourself out. And before I leave, before the end of this show, I will play the recording in its entirety, so you all can hear all the nice things that the former Attorney General under the coalition, the former Minister of Citizenship under the coalition, also former Commissioner of Police were going on with, right? On a lighter note, because the people say I don't talk about development and what the government doing, I want to take you out to give you a preview of what's happening at Silica City. So this here is the smart community that is currently under construction along the Linden-Soos-Dyke Highway, an initiative by this Air-Fronali-led administration through the Ministry of Housing and Water and the Central Planning and Central Housing and Planning Authority, right? So Silica City is taking shape. This is going to be the first smart city in Guyana, and the Ministry of Housing and Water, they're working to complete this new community, right? So for the persons who are interested in living in this area and who have probably secured lots in the area, things are taking shape, and you know, this could only augur well for the housing sector and Guyanese in general in relation to housing, right? And it looks like it's shaping up quite nicely. I think I see a lot of young professional homes here based on the designs of the houses that I'm seeing. A lot of young professional homes, the bungalows and the high rises, well, the two-story buildings, I should say. So hats off to the government of Guyana and the Ministry of Housing and Water, Central Housing and Planning Authority, in advancing this project so quickly, and with the aim of providing housing for the Guyanese people, right? So again, you're looking at, if you're just joining us, you're looking at images from Silica City, which is currently under construction along the Linden-Soos-Dyke Highway, and you know, we moving people, Guyana moving forward, right? Back to violence. So Nigel Hughes, look, let me tell you something. This guy, the amount of double standards exhibited by Nigel Hughes is flabbergasting. That's the only way I could describe it, right? That's the only way I could describe it. Because at one time, you get a certain position from him, and then when it suits him, he completely reverses on that position. So recently, in another Gard Mosley report, the AFC to lobby international community to pressure GCOM on providing a clean voters list. How is Nigel Hughes going to the international community? Right? Look, let me show you the story. So this is the Gordon Mosley story. AFC to lobby international community to pressure GCOM on providing a clean voters list. How the AFC going to the international community now? I don't understand what's going on here. Really and truly, I don't understand what's going on here. Now, in 2020, Nigel Hughes, the very same man who lobbying people now, argued that the Caribbean Court of Justice had no jurisdiction in Guyana's elections, emphasizing that the Constitution of Guyana grants the appeal court exclusive and final authority in election matters. Now in 2024, Hughes, as the leader of the AFC, is now saying he pushing for the international community and even exploring legal challenges concerning the voters list. Now, this is contradicting his earlier defense of the strict constitutional boundaries on elections matters. Now, Hughes, who defended the coalition's actions in 2020 by focusing on constitutional provisions, is now calling for international pressure to force the government and the Guyana Elections Commission to address this voters list, that so-called bloated and these there people and all this madness that they're talking. Now, this is showing a clear shift in his stance from previously dismissing outside influence to now advocating for it as a means of achieving electoral reform. Now, while previously asserting that the CCJ could not intervene in Guyana's elections due to constitutional restrictions, Hughes is now considering legal challenges based on the right to vote being compromised by a flawed voters list. Now, in my view, I think this shows a double standard, as he's now seeking to use legal avenues for electoral grievances, despite dismissing similar actions by the PPPC in the past. Now, the AFC is now calling for legislative changes to cleanse the voters list. I have gone over with you all here several times the processes in terms of sanitizing the list of dead persons and persons who are not supposed to be there for the right reasons. The dead, the mentally insane or something like that, right? I think that's the only two things that could remove you from the voters list. Not collecting your ID card, none of that nonsense. Not living in Guyana. No, you can't be removed from the voters list like that, right? So Hughes is now calling for legal challenges to cleanse this voters list. Now, this is a stark contrast to their tenure in government during 2015 to 2020, when the AFC and the ABNU failed to address or implement electoral reforms, including, but not limited to, the recommendations from the international observers like the Carter Center. So Hughes is now advocating for changes his party neglected to act on whilst in office. Like, how, make it make sense to me, man. Make it make sense to me. Now, in 2020, Hughes downplayed the issue surrounding the election rigging attempt during the Region 4 count. But in 2024, he is vocal about concerns regarding electoral integrity due to a bloated voters list. Now, this shift underscores the double standards of focusing on electoral issues when politically convenient, while previously dismissing the concerns when his party was in power. So after his equation, you didn't see or hear from Nigel Hughes. You didn't see or hear from Nigel Hughes. Me might put it in the air and disappear. You understand? I really don't know what to say about these people. I really don't know what to say about them. Nigel Hughes, catch yourself. Catch yourself. Now, that aside, I want to jump to another AFC thing that grinding my gears. Now, first of all, I don't know. I don't know how many of you would have seen yesterday, but the government again is doing roads in Berbice, right? 6 point something billion in roads. Now, what people are saying is, when we contrast this, and more so, we look at the differences between what we had and what we have now. We're looking at the differences of what we had and what we have now, and we are juxtaposing it against what the coalition is telling us now, right? So you're talking about no transparency, this, that, whatnot. Yet the Irfanali-led administration is sticking to the tender process for persons to get contracts. They're sticking to the tender process. And again, everything that the opposition accuses this administration of, there is more than one instance that we can look at to prove that this is not what the PPP is doing. This is what y'all did. Now you're trying to put it on the PPP. So the government of Guyana is following the tender process and moving forward with development. And I always say to you, look at what you had. Look at what you had before. So it's not a case where PPP Barbies faction outrage. It's not a case of where Anog Barbies faction outrage. It's not a case where the PNC faction outrage. It's the AFC themselves. So could you imagine Nigel Hughes going around the place talking about corruption and no transparency and all this other stuff? Everything that they have done. So in 2018, the AFC awarded 120 million in untendered contracts for road edge clearing in Region 6 to 6 of its own members, highlighting a clear case of friends, family, and favorites. Now, this contradicts the party's claim of promoting transparency and accountability. So again, Nigel Hughes, what are you doing? People aren't stupid. They haven't forgotten how the coalition used to operate and the AFC faction in the coalition. No, these contracts were given to a selective group of Indo-Guyanese AFC officials. The ancestor boss, remember the ancestor sent him to Linden. He went overseas and said, well, the ancestor said, son, it's time to come back now and lead. Afro-Guyanese being marginalized everywhere. Afro-Guyanese not getting anything. And the parties that claim to care so much about Afro-Guyanese, the parties that have the most Afro-Guyanese in their leadership. Let me show you. I hope I delete it. Yeah, I delete it. Anyway, right? The party that has the most Afro-Guyanese in the leadership hand out the contracts to the Indo-Guyanese. This is not what they're claiming the PPP does. giving all the contracts to Indo-Guyanese. So how is this something that we have evidence of the AFC doing? Apparently, this is what the PPP does only, right? Freak the black people. The PPP got time with black people. It's only the APNU AFC like black people. Sorry, I'm using the wrong terminology. Guyanese of Afro descent. It's only the PNC like and the AFC like Guyanese of Afro descent. The PPP hate them. You're doing nothing for them. They can't get no contract. Right? So these contracts were given to a selected group of Indo-Guyanese AFC officials. Derek Basu, Joseph Bishu, Godwin Abdullah, Kushal Goberton, and Subhas Urilal. Right? So I call in name. Because it's there, it's facts. It's facts. Agri is back. Welcome back, brother. I always glad when people are here and they could learn. You understand me? Welcome back, Agri. So how are you talking about the love of Afro-Guyanese when you're breaching the tender process, which you claim the PPP is doing now? They ain't going to the tender board, they're bypassing the thing. So we have this instance. We got the instance of the unsolicited bid that Patu take the cabinet. We got the instance of the scales for the Harbour Bridge, which they are yet to receive, and full payment was made for. And you got the bucket truck scenario for GPL. So you have multiple cases of no transparency and accountability. You understand? But the people who are actually not transparent and accountable accusing everybody else of what they are doing. Right? Now, given the names that I gave you and the process the AFC has used, this is in sharp contrast to the PPPC government's current approach, where 475 contracts for rehabilitation works in the same region have been awarded with the focus on ethnic and gender diversity. Right? Ethnic and gender diversity. So the AFC had decided to give all Indian men the contracts in Borbis. This administration that don't like the Guyanese of Afro descent, giving the contracts or allowing for all ethnicities to apply through an open process to win contracts. And when you look at the photo there, you see a healthy mix of men, women, Indo, Afro, Amo, Portuguese, this, that. You understand? You're seeing a healthy mix. So I like to remind persons, again, over and over, that oftentimes the things that these people accuse the current government of are things that they would have engaged in. And there is evidence to support. Right? That there's evidence to support. So the AFC's decision to award an untendered contract bypassed the proper procurement procedures, raising serious concerns about the misuse of public funds and undermining the principles of fairness in the contracting process. Now, while the AFC currently campaigns on a platform of accountability and good governance, this revelation from 2018 exposes a double standard where party officials benefited from backdoor deals that lack transparency. More so, the fact that Mr. Nigel Hughes, despite all the baggage that he has with him, has decided to put more load on his back. I could understand if you're carrying corrupt Cathy on your back. You're married to her, and yes, you have to. You're obligated to support her in whatever she does. $2 million every time she's going out on an outreach, signing for payment for her own company, Video Mega. But you didn't stop there. You decide that your back is strong. You're tall. You're a strong man. So you carrying corrupt catty, you take on pissing pato, and then after that, you say you know something, I still got more space. You collect Uncle Raphael too. You collect Uncle Raphael too. So you fetching a set of baggage that ain't got no proper history in government as ministers, and you expect people to believe that this team that you walking with gonna lead Guyana into the future? We had them before, Nigel. You're the only person who had public office. The rest of them, we know this, and we know your story too, but like I said, you're the only person who will really hold public office. Nigel, David, El Pistolero, Uncle Raphael, you understand? They've been there and we know what they give. That's somebody else. And the Miss Cathy Hughes, we know what they give. We know what Sherrod Duncan gives. We saw what he did at Chronicle, spending all the money without the proper procedure. Gita and the former Prime Minister Moses Nakamutu knock you off. Y'all own people had to knock off your own people for misusing funds. And the only reason you do it is because the information get leaked and bring into the public eye. You understand? So while the AFC currently campaigns on a platform of accountability and transparency, we are seeing that it's very different. So unlike the AFC's actions, the PDP government's recent awarding of contracts in Region 6 demonstrates a commitment to inclusivity, ensuring that the contracts are awarded to a diverse range of individuals, reflecting a more equitable approach to development. Now, despite the past questionable actions of Basu, one of the AFC officials involved in the 2018 untendered contracts, this is another baggage that Nigel Youssef, my broadback, could fetch. So Basu is still closely associated with Nigel Hughes and remains active in AFC political campaigns. So in my little mind, doesn't this raise concerns about whether such corrupt practices that they did with Basu could repeat itself if AFC returns to the seat of government? These people are jokers. You hear me? These people are jokers. I don't know why the AFC feels people are so gullible, and I sad to say dumb, to actually forget the kind of things that they were engaged in. It's public record, it's in all the papers them. If it was untrue, Nigel, Basu, everybody would have done run to the court, sue the papers, print a retraction, pay the money to the people then, done the story. But again, they can't, because they understand that, yes, this is what we were engaged in, so what we gonna do? Can't say nothing. Can't say anything. They cannot say anything. Now, the last thing I want to touch on this morning, I noticed that the PNC released a press statement about the current situation at the New Amsterdam Town Council. Right? I got a slight headache this morning. Morning to RDR June. Zoe and RDR June just rolling here to 8:40. But good morning. The two of them. Look at them. 8:40. Yeah, it's trouble. Anyway, so the PNC released a press statement in relation to what is currently taking place at the Mayor and Town Council of New Amsterdam. Now, as you would have seen last week, we had several councillors from the PVP side on the program sharing information of what they're in relation to what they're dealing with at the town council there in New Amsterdam, right? More so, we actually saw a video of, I think, Councillor Quasiels, I think that's his name, moving a motion to have Councillor Trimbagot suspended for the rest of the sitting, the rest of the life of the council. Now, again, I'm reiterating that the councillors there were elected, right? I don't know if the mayor forget, but they were elected. So, whilst the PNCR claims that that Councillor Trimbagot's suspension was a collective decision, there is no clear public evidence of the specific violation or disruptive behavior cited. So the decision appears to have been made behind closed doors, raising concerns about transparency of the process. The timing of the suspension and the PNCR's swift endorsement of the suspension raises questions about whether this is an attempt to silence dissent within the council. So they want nobody ask questions or follow up on things that they're doing. And that is exactly what Ms. Trimbagot has been doing. Asking for receipts, asking for a paper trail, asking for the mayoral chain that vanished into thin air. You understand? So rather than an isolated disciplinary action based on the timing of the suspension, right? Rather than isolated disciplinary action, it could be seen as a part of a larger political maneuver to control the narrative and suppress differing viewpoints, especially from those who may challenge the status quo. Elected councillors are mandated to serve their constituents. The decision to suspend Councillor Trimbagot limits the representation of her voters. The PNCR's defense of the suspension could be interpreted as an attempt to undermine the democratic engagement by penalizing those who may not always align with the majority in council. And we've seen this at the City Council, and we continue to see it at the Linden Town Council as well. Now, the PNCR accuses others of spreading misinformation, yet fails to provide specific examples or evidence to substantiate these claims. That this Councillor Trim behaving bad, she doing this, she doing that. There's nothing submitted. I've shown you here PNC councillors engaging in horrible behavior at the statutory, cussing people by the S, rushing to fight, allowing a constable to approach a councillor and tell the councillor that 8 p.m. you running this place. The constables are not supposed to take a side. They're supposed to serve the council, whoever's there. So what happens at the next LG? Let's say the PDP wins the majority. Would the constable and what? Fight against the council? Right? So again, accusing people of spreading misinformation, PNCR, but offers no examples or evidence to back up the claims that they're making. Now, this tactic can be viewed as a deflection from the real issue. Whether the suspension was warranted or simply a convenient way to dismiss opposing voices within the council. And based on what I've heard, they're trying to do the same thing to Councillor Luther as well. So now Councillor Luther is asking about the bills. They're asking about budget and things like that. So an example is, under the mayor office, they got some monies allocated, right? This is not the exact number. So let me say they got $1 million allocated under the mayor's office. There is no breakdown to say, well, this amount for gas, this amount for the mayor phone bill, this amount for refreshments, this amount for travel, this amount for that. No disaggregation. Yeah, I agree use that word the other day. There's no disaggregation of what the amount is for. So the councillors are asking, okay, well, we're using this money to do. We just seeing $1 million, and then we know $1 million spent, but we ain't got no receipt. We ain't got no invoice or nothing. What's going on? What is going on? So instead of acknowledging the possibility of internal disagreements or providing a platform for Councillor Trimbaga to defend herself, the PNCR is portraying the suspension as an unquestionable act of order. They know best, everything, yes. We do this, we don't question it. Now, if they're taking this line, this misses the need for accountability and for the investigation to the alleged disruptive behavior of Miss Trim. The citizens, the residents of New Amsterdam, want to know what Carol Trimbaga did. They want to know what she did, the date she do it, who was there, thing. They want to know what she did. I want to know what she did. Now, the PNCR stance on this issue highlights an approach that prioritizes removing dissent rather than fostering unity and collaboration within the council. If the goal is to maintain professionalism and respect, suspending a duly elected official without offering a fair and transparent process only creates more division within that local government body. The PNCR references council bylaws to justify the suspension, but does not specifically, or they do not specify how these bylaws were breached or provide clarity on the standards used. Without a clear explanation of the bylaws and how they were applied, the action appears arbitrary and politically motivated. Now, while the PNCR focuses on the behavior of a single councillor, it diverts attention away from the larger issues affecting the whole of New Amsterdam. The council should prioritize addressing the town's development, economic challenges, and governance issues, rather than engaging in internal conflicts that could hinder progress. So, Mr. Mayor and councillors on the PNC side here in New Amsterdam, I'm asking you guys to act with a little more sense. The council hasn't done anything bad. If it was a PVP mayor there, y'all would have been asking questions as well. She's well within her right to do so. Not because you don't like the questions. Could the mayor of New Amsterdam say he hasn't seen the videos of Councillor Schultz and I think it's Alison Grant and their behavior? That behavior don't warrant suspension? The constable's utterances, that don't warrant suspension? Y'all need to catch yourself. Guys, look, I gotta head out early today. Y'all have a wonderful day. Continue to be good Guyanese. Stop watching Nigel Hughes. He can hurt your head like he's hurt mine, right? Drivers in Guyana and abroad, y'all, please be careful. Please be careful on the roadway. Please be careful on the roadways. Look out for the drivers who aren't looking out for you. And as I usually say before I go, it's all about peace. It's all about love. It's all about one Guyana.
No
Yeah? Well, he published, no?
So he say he ain't take the man. First, suppose because he come to court and see me doing the matter again. Why not?
Hey there.
I just settle the matter with Glenlal. When the magistrate sue you for libel.
Which magistrate?
For that in.
You settle it? For how much?
It's about 100,000.
I thought you, I would have said 100 million.
Nah.
Oh, you settle it?
But he told me how some police called him and said he to publish that I had some problem the night there. I had some gun story the night.
He tell you some police call you and tell you publish, no? Well, he published, no?
So he say he ain't take the man. First, suppose because he come to court and see me doing the matter again.
Pull yourself together.
So who police to do the buy?
Why, he paying a lot of people, and a lot of people know that he taking stories from anywhere, right? And they usually get into this lawlessness.
Sorry. I know I end this program, but I just want y'all to hear what Winston Felix said himself about Glenlal. Glenlal paying people for story, he didn't care whether it's truth or not. Y'all hear Winston Felix say it himself. So the PNC people don't know how Glenlal operated. He ain't got anything to be true. Once it's sensational, he did it. Anyway, I gotta know for true.
Pull yourself together.
So who police to do the buy?
Why, he paying a lot of people, and a lot of people know that he taking stories from anywhere, right? And they usually get into this lawlessness.
So what angle could he take by? I thought up there.
Banner is anything them people taking and right. Right? Police get a $5,000-$6,000 and they feel nice.
If we had published that now, he forced me now for response. You understand what I mean? Anyway, we got time, you know. You get a chance to deal with the matter though?
Which one?
The same thing about
we talk about it.
This public thing?
We talk about it, and we got to refine the position on it. But Cricket World Cup, you don't got no thing. You can't go in with your gun, period.
Like they say not. License or unlicensed?
License or unlicensed. You can't carry any firearm in there.
We got one of our studies that the thing was Cricket World Cup, you know.
Okay.
The threats and stuff like that. I get it. Our group had made a good presentation.
Who?
Our group had made a good presentation.
Okay.
The different threats and things I look for. In general, objectives and strategies to deal with them. Yeah. Anyway, see, you're busy. Number one, see, you have to call you or something.
Reader.
Me no figure you. I tell you.
He come back?
Yeah. I told him you say you might need to talk.
If I know that I would have set up something tonight, I know he come back.
Yeah. You say you want to talk to you, so see you with a call.
You run away when all this gun play taking place? You laugh, eh?
I do.
I watch you move good. But y'all make no statement, but them 8 people dead, you know.
I was saying the same thing.
Y'all make no statement.
The same thing. They make no statement there. But
y'all playing dangerous games.
No, I don't check for the PR thing, but I'm gonna find out from them in the morning.
Y'all should have been the first people for running there. There's a black people community.
Well, bye.
And them criminals gone and slaughtered them people in there.
Well, I suppose when they lead and then nobody ain't running out. You know it go.
Yeah, I should have been for the first set of people
get the facts about what going on.
Screaming. You don't want facts, it's you people dead.
I help you out when you say Ashman them.
Huh?
You help when you give
Banner, I deliberately turned the thing away from it come.
I know.
But now I can't do that because the facts coming out. So, but in the interim, in the initial stages, I made a firm decision that me saying nothing but them people. I turning them away.
How will I so?
It's just them fucking Portuguese and fucking people want to kill me because I say I satisfy with response and I still satisfy with it. MMC.
They don't want to pay nobody. They want
MMC. But hear this one. MMC security, as I understand it, the panic button go off there 10:15. Right? The police reach there in under half an hour. Right? The police decided, the officer say, hey, y'all hold on. We going there as one group. You don't rush into nothing before people get slaughtered all side of thing. But like this, what these people want, they want police to run into the midst of gunfire.
But MMC men got you and then get slaughtered?
Well, they been there.
So they didn't respond?
No, they didn't respond. They been for air.
Oh shit, boy. That thing was rough, no, boy. It was a rough thing. Like, I mean, you shoot in the park, the minibus and all them things.
I gonna deal. I waited for now. McLean and Jerry Govaya them said they're coming for tell me stunt. I hear they release some something in the paper coming out tomorrow. Yeah, and if you know why nobody's thing, that's why I am emphatic that them men, you can't blame them too much, right? The minister called me. I didn't record the time. The minister said, here, look. Somebody called her to say, look, they're hearing gunfire in Eccles. If I got a report, I said, Minister, I ain't getting nothing yet, but when I finish talking to you, I will check it out. I call breakdown. And I say, yes, we just get something. And we tell this officer, and the officer gone. The officer gone to the scene. The officer stopped at Rainfeld. The officer summoned all them other patrols who been. They see manpower he get to patrol, I think they see. There's a big story. I called TSU. When I called TSU men now joining the vehicle to go. One set of people hear the thing on the radio and call them and tell them. So I want to know what these fucking people want. Like they want 15 police going and there and say they arrive on time.
The thing is, them police barangay no way, but you send them and knock them.
But here, I'm saying that was not the case. I check on them. Normally, when the men hesitate to respond to anything, I would know. The word just come up the line. Look, the men, they want to go to the scene last night. Right? The word just come up. I specifically check on them after Adam Harris started talking to Minister at the press conference. I check on that. The man at Reinfeldt said, he meant nobody for he because he had to caution them about running to the scene. TSU, same thing. So, me know is this big thing they're talking about. And then, but the PNC getting sucked into the same shit too.
Me know what?
Talking about police response to that kind of shit.
Today?
No, you're at Parliament today.
Who spoke to them? I mean, I had to leave to go to a meeting, so me in here though, but who spoke to Parliament saying no?
Yeah, no, I hear so.
No worry though, we're going to deal with them. The point I'm making to you is the same thing to confront Larry Lewis. You understand what I'm saying? But I find that you go out there and you give your comment to how the thing went. But I don't think anybody in this country expects unpaid policemen are ill-equipped to go to them scene, you know. You have to say what you like. Just general population and expect them. If the Portuguese Banamari could put some of them in a special spot, and they will go and respond to them. Because from what they counted in the papers that went down there, that sky looked like was spirits.
Like was?
Spirits being out there. Not human beings. So, if they wanted to get Portuguese squad to go for this scene, you know, that thing there was freaky, man. The only thing that left out from there is that the man wasn't eating people. That they eat some of the victims. It was real shit. I don't know. So, I mean, no, you could be everywhere, you could do everything.
Well,
what kind of response they wanted by?
Well, I'm going to ask now. I'm going to let it tell me. You see, when they had this robbery in Newmarket Street, I check the thing and I see police had little fast. Me say nothing, I run quick and I try to swap the ends. Well, this country they trying to get down with me, got time with them.
But you know, there's a trend happening now. People not sure who did what. Who did? Nobody come in and announces they do not know. So you already know what's going on. You know, like with Waddle, nobody announce and claim it. You understand what I'm saying?
But why shoot up the gas station? That's what you want to know.
Well, I mean, you give a reasonable account that it might be something to do with idle. That he either skin up the rival or something. You know. But as I said, I don't know. The whole thing just look crazy. But in terms of the PNC giving a statement, I think the PNC probably wants information just to make an informed statement. So I don't know who going Parliament and talking on the issue already. I try to forget what was there to talk about. We were discussing CARICOM. I left that 4 o'clock.
Now, I hearing from the PPP side that some people at Parliament, they didn't specifically say who.
Oh, not like at the session?
No, not in Parliament.
About the car does? Okay. So, you just got to hold it. I think you did well at the press conference there. You hold a light. You did it, but you got to hook up.
Yeah, I want to hook up. I know.
Hook up and got to focus on what's going on. You know?
But here, I think Ali should run in the place, you know. Yeah, I should run in the place.
But you forget me, don't really check for them things. You know?
I know, but it's showing up.
You know?
It's showing up.
We don't check for them. Now, I see another thing there. I know there's a platoon amongst the story too. I learned it pretty cool. So there's a whole platoon gone out there plus one by. I don't know. Certainly if you want an atmosphere of fear to attend the election, it certainly is there. You know?
Well, you know, some people don't understand, you know. Once you want to play with violence, violence will have to surround you. When they're going to kill Shaka Blair, they didn't expect this country to happen. Right? They run into years and months of shit. They gone and kill fucking Waddle now. What the fuck they expect?
Right. Your money I don't go. I think that they start something that they can't finish, right? That's that's rough, man. Your money I don't go. As I tell you, the best thing could happen now is they announce that they can't make the election there.
So for y'all behave bad?
No. They can't make
but y'all playing in the people's hand.
No, they can't make they can't continue. They got to get some other arrangement.
They in office. You got to have a government.
No, they like finish at the end of the 5 years.
So who is the government?
They can't get no government. The president is the only man to continue until the next person elected assumes office. So who is the government? But as I'm saying, you got to get arrangement for King. Hyde could have extended it because he had 2/3. They don't have. I know though. So it might be a blessing in disguise for Guyana that they got to work together and try and see how they could carry the country forward. Well,